Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fill the Glass, episode 16. I'm Kerry Millsap, and today I'm going to talk about why everybody always blames Oracle. So I'll begin naturally by telling you a story about one of my garage doors at my house. Here's a picture of the problem. This is the inside of my wood shop. You can see my the edge of my bandsaw here, and you can see that the garage door in my shop is just horrific. It's nasty. It's rotted, and you can almost tell looking at it that it's moist, even though it's a dry day outside. And it was so bad. I mean, it was just so bad. There was actually mushrooms growing in the wood. It was disgusting. And so it's a garage door. Garage doors are big and expensive and heavy, and they take specialists to adjust and stuff. And I was like, I just kept putting it off. Here's another picture of how bad it was. The fiberboard or whatever this is got so wet that you could just push your finger through it and see the styrofoam on the inside, the insulating styrofoam. So, I finally got the gumption up to fix it. And of course, I've got Google, so I can figure out, all right, what's inside a garage door when it's when it's right. And so I found this picture, which informed me to, the kind of plan I needed to make. And then I went and got the stuff. I got plywood and I got insulation, this foam sheathing stuff. It's hard to see it because the tape measure tape is on top of it, but this little strip of wood here is actually a pressure treated, water resistant piece of wood. So I figured I'd use that on the bottom so that the water wouldn't wick up under the door. And I got it installed. I actually got it put into the sequence of folding pieces, and I didn't worry too much about how the inside looks. In fact, I'm kind of proud every time I look and it, match, 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 doesn't match, but it reminds me of my fun project as a carpenter to make something to help fix my shop. So I don't mind that it's a different color, and you can see that even yet again, different colored strip down here. And ultimately, I put a rubber gasket down below it. So ultimately, it looks like this. I've got two of these doors that are in the same shape. And this gasket here makes a nice seal with the ground and everything. And it looks really good. Now, the weird thing is that I've got two doors. This is a door to the room that my wife and I keep a bunch of our gardening stuff. And then this is the door to my shop. And my shop door had the really horrific problem with the mushrooms and stuff growing, but the other door didn't really have that big of a problem. And I also wondered, what is it about this door that's going to put it at risk of happening again? Because I didn't want all my nice work to go to waste and have it rot and be a big problem. So in comes my friend Richard, who looks a little differently today on the video than he did when this picture was taken back in 1914. But Richard is chapter 14 in this book, and he's chapter, what did I say, Richard? 60 something, 64 maybe in the faster book. Richard is the guy who was at 7-Eleven. He was their enterprise architect, at least for the Oracle project, and maybe for bigger than just Oracle. But I met Richard because he was having a performance problem. 7-Eleven was having a performance problem with an application called Oracle Agile PLM. And it ended up being a really just an awesome little case study. And I keep saying it. Richard's the best customer we ever had. He took such good care of us, and he paved the way for us to help him quickly. And within 2 or 3 days, we had a pretty long standing problem solved permanently. So anyway, Richard and I became friends, and one day, and it happens to be, I looked it up on the metadata of the photo. It happened to be July 6th, 2019. I asked him to come out to the house to help me debug my door problem because I thought, I really don't want this door to go bad like the other one. So we were going to do something that weekend. I thought, hey, why don't you come over and we'll see what we can figure out. And being a couple of technology guys who worked together on Oracle stuff, one of the things that we were just happened to be talking about it, was the topic of today's conversation. Why does everybody always blame Oracle, whether it's their fault or not? And we came up with some ideas about why everybody always blames Oracle, whether it's their fault or not. Number one is probably because Oracle's probably in the name of your project. I mean, it's always called the Oracle implementation or the Oracle apps or the Oracle machine or the Oracle system or the Oracle people. So it's probably even in the name of your project. And it's probably also your project's biggest investment, right? And especially since Oracle sells hardware and the database and the apps and consulting and support, there's a ton of stuff that you're buying from Oracle. So it's probably your biggest investment. So therefore that red word's going to get stamped on your project, even if it's not its name. And then number three, choosing Oracle basically defines the rest of your technical architecture, right? Once you decide you're going to run Oracle, it kind of limits the number of hardware platforms that you'd be willing to run it on. It kind of limits the number of apps or the types of apps or the specific apps that you're going to run on it. So once you decide to go Oracle, that kind of changes so much stuff that, you know, Oracle ends up being the brand label that people associate with the whole project. And you probably have lots of finger quote memorable relationships with Oracle people, and memorable by which I really mean love hate. Some really good ones, some really bad ones. I've seen them all. I've seen the whole spectrum of love and hate in those relationships. And then some people just simply resent big successful corporations. And I put the asterisk here. I think it was Richard who mentioned it. I can remember exactly where we were standing when one of us came up with it. I think it was him. He said, yeah, some people could probably even find a way to blame Oracle for your garage door problem. And we had a good laugh. The next picture I want to show is actually a video, and I hope you can hear it. This water is coming down about 4 feet from that light there, all the way about 8 feet north of us, and it's coming straight out of the gutter, or straight out of the gutter. I don't know why it's not going to the downspout, but it's absolutely not. We really got lucky because during our little meetup, it started raining. I mean, hard, which is awesome because we got a great opportunity to look at it, right? It's one thing to look at a dry house and go, theoretically, this water should go from here to there. Gravity, you know, this looks like it's tilted. I got a spirit level. Yeah, it's tilted and the water should go down here. But man, when it's raining, that's exactly when you want to be looking at it. So we've got this problem. We've got this gutter, and the water's just spilling over the edge of the gutter, and it was bouncing off the concrete into our shins and into my shop, where my door normally would have been had it been closed. So there's all this water just sheeting and then hitting and bouncing up into my door, and the door probably never got a chance to dry between, you know, every couple of weeks when it rains. So no wonder my door had become a mushroom farm. So it was just a mess, and I didn't know what to do about it, because here's the downspout. You can see I'm going to trace it with my mouse. So here's the gutter. So the water is spilling over this edge of the gutter when it's supposed to be flowing down this downspout. And the downspout links up with the thing that goes all the way to the curb. It's a French drain, so it goes all the way to the curb and gets the water out of there, but it wasn't working. So I've got a metal ladder back here. Yeah, it's raining and thundering and lightning. And Richard, do you remember I was up on the damn ladder and the whole world went white, and I heard this just boom, and the world just went white in front of my face. And actually, I guess hit the top of our house. We're grounded pretty well, but it ripped up my my stereo receiver. One of my channels on my stereo receiver hasn't worked since that day. I'm thinking, yeah, here I am on a freaking metal ladder up against my house and lightning hitting the actual house I'm leaning it up against. But anyway, what I was doing up there was I was taking the screw out, because there's a little screw here that separates the downspout from the gutter tray. And then I had released a couple of these screws too, so we could take this whole piece out and look at it, because there was no mud or anything up in this gutter that should have been stopping up anything. And I was holding this piece here, which is very lightweight. It's made out of aluminum. And I was shaking it. I was looking in it. Of course, you can't see light from one end to the other because it's got this big bend in it. But I looked in there and there was no mud or anything, no like tree limb or leaves or anything. And I shook it and it didn't rattle. It just felt really super light and like there was nothing in it. And I was getting ready to put it back up, and Richard said, "Hey, let me see that for a minute." And so I handed it to him, and he stuck his arm. I don't remember which end he stuck it in. He either stuck it in here Yeah, he had to have stuck it in there. He stuck his arm in and kind of like with his hand, kind of felt down in here, and he pulled something out of my gutter. And it was so lightweight that that's why I didn't feel it, but it was this. It was a little ball that my kids, who probably 10 years ago were 10 years old and probably hit it on top of my roof with a baseball bat, never told me. And then it went and got stuck in the gutter, because one of the things going on with the gutter here is that this and this are separate pieces. So there's a screw that goes from the outside that kind of sticks into the inside of the gutter, and the ball had hung up on that screw. And I just wonder, does anybody recognize this ball? But this was Fill the Glass, a weekly podcast that I record live on Zoom every Tuesday. I'm Kerry Millsap. If you'd like to join us, visit methodr.com/fill the glass. And if you need help with performance of either your systems or your people, or apparently your gutters on your home, please reach out to us. We have software training and coaching. We can help.